think the biggest evolution, because of the quality of people that we have, we've been able to add support services for the individual DDSmatch professionals to help them grow in their marketplace and do what they do best, use their unique ability to connect with dentists and help them find the right match. So the more we can support them, the more they're going to grow, the more it's going to benefit the whole. When I started this, there was a lot of dual brokerage, and there's still some of that comes on. But I think our clients and the marketplace have seen the value of having a single-sided, sell-side business brokerage at a high level for the dental niche, because it is a unique niche, and using third-party business valuations, using the technology we have through the website, through our local connections. Our average DDSmatch professional has 24 years experience in their market, so they know the dentists in their market, they know the marketplace, and I think that's what makes us unique. Well, again, dentists are unique, and I think having that, understanding how our client works and operates and what their basic needs are, but even the next level of needs in a transition, we're there to find opportunities for the seller. We're not there to just pick somebody and fill a gap. We want the seller to be thrilled with who they sold to, who they transitioned with, and because it matters to the community they're in, that they've served, it matters to the staff that's there, and it matters to the patients that they serve. So it's critical, and it's the more experience we have in the market, the more dentists we know, and the more we know the communities we serve, because every DDSmatch professional has a territory that they own and manage. It's important that they know the difference between Indianapolis and Chicago and Los Angeles. Well, trust is critical, and our process is called the Trusted Transition Process for a reason, and that was one of the things that I felt like was needed in this industry. That's why we have third-party business valuation. So when a buyer and their advisors are looking at a practice to purchase, they know that valuation is done by a third party, and it's important that they get it right on what's truly going on there in the practice. We also have a clinical opportunity blueprint that's created by Dental Intelligence with us. It's a unique product that we have. It shows the clinical opportunity. Our dentists always are going to say there's tons of opportunity in my practice because I stopped doing root canal, I stopped pulling teeth, and I never did Invisalign. This report actually shows where that opportunity is. So rather than the dentist just saying this is a big opportunity, or the DDSmatch professional saying there's opportunity, it's actually third parties saying there's opportunity. Yeah, well, starting, we set the expectations right out of the gate with the partner in Blue & Company with evaluation. But as we get to the point where we've found a buyer and we start working on transition documents, the employment agreement going forward, maybe they're selling to a corporation and who they're going to go join this corporation. Most of our clients haven't had a job since they were running a paper route, so they've never worked for somebody. So it's critical that they get paired up, usually by us, with a good attorney, with a good accountant, that we're checking in with their wealth advisor to make sure this is going to work, because this is a one-time thing, right? Usually they're only going to sell their practice once. So that brings the emotion down if you're surrounding yourself with people you trust. Most buyers have never done this before, so they don't know what they don't know, but this is something that I want the buyer to feel confident and trust the process too. Even though we're running the seller through the process, part of that is to prepare them to sell emotionally, financially, psychologically. So when I have a client that's not ready, we don't put it on the market, because buyers have an expectation. If they find something they would like, I want them to know they can get it if that's what they want to do, that we're not going to change the game. Now, I've had a couple clients change their mind in the process, and that's fine. I don't love it, but ideally we get that seller in a right mindset to do this, and they're comfortable and excited about it versus just, I have to sell. That's an important thing. So buyers, they're going into this fearful. they're borrowing money, they're doing something they've never done before. So I want to give them as much clarity as possible too, because that builds trust. I'm a big believer that they have to see themselves as the buyer. And it's amazing. Once we start with a client, they're always a little nervous about, well, how's this going to play out? Because it's an intangible sale. Most of them have never gone through this. I find when they really are happy about it is when they meet that person. That's when it makes sense to them. But until then, there's some reservation. There's always reservation even at the end. But when they meet that right person and that match, something clicks. And I always encourage them to be themselves when they're meeting with buyers for the first time. I don't want them putting a front up, because that's not what we're selling. We're selling their goodwill. That's a critical thing that we're selling. I want them to be themselves. And I want them to see it through the eyes of the buyer too, because that buyer is taking on a lot of responsibility. Yeah, and I think the thing that's unique is we work with both, and we don't make the decision for you. We want to give the opportunities for the seller to choose. The biggest difference is the seller is going to be more committed to the sale if they sell to a DSO, because they're usually having to stay on after the transaction. So they have to really understand what they're getting, because there is a lot of the purchase that comes in the future, hopefully. So it's important that they understand the entire transaction, because they're tied to it for a period of time.